Okay, so today we are going to turn this white paper into aged ephemera little journal tags to tuck into our junk journals. And we're gonna do several different themes. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I absolutely love this stamp. I just got it. I think I'm gonna use this a ton. So I would recommend that when you make these that you use a permanent ink because we're gonna do a lot of distressing. I do not have my permanent ink, so I'm gonna make do with my Distress Oxide ink today and just be really careful with my distressing, but you should definitely use a permanent ink. A block big enough for your stamp, and then thoroughly coat. And the beauty, I think, of these stamps is if it isn't a perfect impression, it really doesn't matter because they are meant to look distressed. So it's not even stressful, but you could use a stamp positioner and stamp multiple times and get a perfect impression if that is something that matters to you. But you can see I don't have a cushion underneath my paper. I don't have anything, so I'm gonna get imperfect stamps, and that is okay. Okay, clean that off, move to the next one. I should probably do more than one of some of these because we are going to do several different themes. Let's see, and we'll do some different sizes because there's multiple sizes in here. It's really cool. Put it on right side up. And then I will cut them all out off camera so you guys do not have to watch me cutting. I think everyone kind of knows how to cut things out. Okay, I have them all cut out now. I've decided to run a little experiment while we're on our video here. I have this workable fixative that I use for oil pastels and graphite drawings and whatnot, and watercolor. Anyway, I sprayed 3 to see if it would fix the ink and I would not smear the ink. I wasn't sure, I've never done that before. I didn't want to ruin them all if it doesn't work. So far, so good. I'm gonna let those dry for a minute and then we'll start off with distressing these. and I'll let you know how my experiment goes. Okay, so generally I like to do this brown aged distress. I am gonna do one in some blues today because I want to do a blue version for my Cinderella journal that I'm working on. So we're gonna do one with blue. But generally, I like to use vintage photo, antique linen, and black. And I usually start off with my antique linen. And instead of doing this, since this is not permanent ink and I don't want to smear it, I'm just going to come in and dab in a little bit of twist or whatever. And you can start to see, I start to see the ink starting to maybe move, and so I move on to somewhere else on the paper. Okay, so that's just kind of how I do that when I don't have the permanent ink. Let's see if these are dry. Look, feels dry. I'm gonna give it a go here with this one. Let's see if we really blend here, what happens. I mean, so far it's not bleeding, so far so good. Okay, so I have both of these kind of, I'm going to blend out my circles here a little, have their lighter color in them, all right? I start there, and then I get the darker one and do the outside edges, okay? And to avoid the little circle look, I kind of come from off the paper, go onto the paper, and then we'll do the other one since we're doing our little experiment. No ink bleeding. I'm liking this whole art fixative idea here. I might have to spray the rest of them before I move forward antiquing them. Although if you're careful, it doesn't really, it does work, so you don't have to do that, but okay. So I want it to look very organic. I don't want a pattern. I want darker spots and not so covered spots because that looks more natural. And then I really like to go, let's put this over here. I really like to go around the edge of them with black and just kind of define that edge a little bit more. I just like that. You could skip this step if you wanted, or if you wanted it to be a very brown, antique-y, more so, then that's fine. I just like that defined edge a little bit because it makes it pop off of whatever journal page I'm adding them to. So I generally will go around and darken the edges with the black. And you know, you could darken a little bit more in places, and it gives it just a little bit more of an aged look. Okay, so once I get to this point, I like to create where it looks like it's been folded. If it's vintage, it's probably been folded at some point. So by folding it, and then I run an ink down it. You could do brown, you could do black. Sometimes I like to do a couple, sometimes I do one, but I try to make them look pretty random and organic looking. The other thing that you can do is bend or round a corner and then really ink that corner up. Add a little black to it so it kind of really shows up there. And there you go, nice and antiqued, right? Let's do this one. I'm gonna run the black ink over it instead of brown. You can kind of see the difference. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna take this one that I put the fixative on, and I'm gonna do the blue. That is also an experiment. I've never done a blue themed aging on something, but I wanna give it a try. So Then I will antique the rest off camera and we'll get to embellishing, okay? So on this one, I'm gonna start off with my light blue blending brush for this one. And I'm just going to, again, kind of off the paper and start on so I don't get real harsh marks. I like it to look very blended for this. And I think I am going to, because I do want it to be a little bit antiqued, I think I'm gonna come in with a little bit of this antique linen and add some sort of aging. I probably should have done this behind the blue, I think, but it won't matter. I'll put some more blue on top. But I just want the blue to be a little bit subtle, the light blue. Okay. So I have my light blue done. Now I want to come in with a darker and kind of darken up my edges. Okay, so there's my blue one. The blue one, antiqued, little ticket. I'm gonna go ahead and antique the rest of these. I'm gonna spray these with the fixative because I really like how well that worked. And then I will antique those off camera and then we'll get to embellishing. Okay, I got them all antiqued. I decided at the last minute to do a pink one. I have a pink shabby chic journal and the Cinderella journal, and then the rest I kept just normally antiqued. So I did on this one, I tore it a little bit to give it a little more aged look. With this one, I'm gonna do, I think, a sort of a Western theme. Where's my torn ticket? This is one I like to do on things that look like a ticket. You can tear one end off. I did that on this one too. Or you can just leave them, you know, whole and not very rugged at all. This one I did the corner. So I just did a little bit different on all of them. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to embellish some of them into different themes. Okay, so we'll move all these over. We're gonna start off with our Western theme here. And I decided I wanted to put it on the one I made pretty rugged. So this is probably gonna be too big. I had the idea that I would do it this way, but maybe we'll just squish them more. Yeah, I like it. And I always like to add flowers. And I have my big box of flowers. And I'm probably gonna go with these white roses to add. First, ink the edges. This one's already inked, but I want to ink up this one so that it just doesn't have such stark white, making it stand out against this antique. So I'll just go around it with a little bit of this ink. This one was the vintage photo. I will probably grab my antique linen here and do a little bit of that too on the more white parts. Make her blend a little bit better. Okay, there we go. and some roses. Can't go wrong with flowers. I really like flowers. I always want to put flowers on pretty much everything. It's just me. You don't have to, obviously. I always like to put my embellishments on together so that they are overlapped the way I want them. So I'm going to glue up both at the same time and then lay them how I want them. And not push that down all the way because I want to add little flowers underneath her. There we go. Hanging off a little bit here, so we'll cut that. Okay, I feel like we need a little bit of balance right there, so maybe I'll add some more flowers. And we got the pink and no pink in that one. So I am going to add one more pink thing. There we go. Okay. Let's peel her hat up. I like everything very layered and attached. Okay, there we go. Need a little extra glue. Lay that down. Much more balanced in my opinion. I'll cut this off. There we go. And then you can either leave this for a writing area, or we can put a little, how about embrace the journey? We'll put that on there. I always like a little phrase. I'm a big fan. And then let's see. We'll trace it, make it stand out a little bit more. Don't have to do that, but sometimes I like to. If I feel like it's blending in too much. And then let's put some liquid pearl dots. This one's gold. I think I want copper. Here's my copper. There we go. We'll go copper. I need a little more glue under that piece. I always like an odd number of dots, so I'm going to put 3. I always like to tap that down in there too so it doesn't clog up the end. I'm going to put this glue on my finger so we don't make a big mess. Rub that on there and get that little end of our hat down. Okay. That's it. That's that simple. Now I have this cute little Western motif ephemera card that can get tucked into a pocket, and on the back you can journal. So simple. And you can make it to match anything you want. So there's my Western. Here's ones I had already done, just floral. Let's see what else we can do. Let's do our blue Cinderella. I know I'm gonna want my blue roses. Here we go. I planned out my themes a little bit here, so I have some things out here, and I think I had this. I like to have like a label of some sort sometimes so you can write, but I think we're gonna just go with this and flowers. So this big floral is too big, and I always want something top and bottom. So we're gonna cut it in half. And we could do something like this. And let's see, I had this one for the bird. I actually kind of like the bird, so maybe we'll just cut the bird off. Get his little feet here so he doesn't look random. And he can sit sort of on top of our, because, you know, Cinderella was attracted creatures, right? Okay. So we'll get these attached down. we'll just put a little, yeah, let's put this underneath and give it a little more texture. And in this one, I'm gonna want, there we go. This is, I think these look like pearls, but it's platinum. To me, it looks white. I don't know. Iridescent white, but white. And I didn't want my blue roses. We're gonna use these. Okay. Close my glue. And again, I'm not gonna push it all the way down until I get my stickers tucked under. There we go. Oh, uh-oh, I meant to put this down. Let's see if we could do it this way, this instead. I was gonna put it the other way, but we'll do it this way. There we go. And we want this guy kind of right there. There we go. And our little blue jay. He can sit right there. And I'll rough up this edge of my ribbon, try to fray it a little bit so it doesn't look so freshly cut. I'm going to trim down this one so it's a little more even with the other one. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's sticking out significantly more than the other side. Okay. Fray this side. I don't feel like I need a word phrase because it already says Cinderella. So I'm just gonna add my cute little pearls here. And I'll probably put sort of one here around our bird, and then two down here. And because I want it to be an odd and kind of a triangle, I'll put one right there. Now I have an odd number and kind of a triangle, and it's super cute. Now there's our Western and our bird. So what should we do next? I think we'll go maybe with a travel theme. I pulled a few odds and ends. I thought this one might be a little bit big. Maybe we want to put it on this one. Although that does say railway, but this feels like it fits it a little bit better. So we're gonna go with that. Oh, I also like this one because it has a plane on it, but this would be really big. I wonder if I could cut it. I bet I could cut it. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. And then I have, had all these things, but they're, take up the whole thing. Okay, I like that. Put a stamp here. Get that in there somewhere. I had thought about this stuff going into, like maybe, I just need a little bit. Make it smaller. And it could stick off. Maybe I'll do that. And I had thought about using this stamp and creating this round element, but I think I'm gonna skip that. Oh, this is a great stamp. I love all the pieces. Unfortunately, this one is no longer available unless you can find it like on eBay or something. Yeah, I think we'll just go with these. And I had a couple of other pieces here, but when we have these, I just got these and these are pretty cool. They're like see-through background elements, but I suspect But there's already so much background element. I might not want these. I don't know. But see, they're like kind of part of the theme a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. I like that one. Maybe not on this project, but we'll see. All right. Well, it's kind of see-through, so maybe we're going to be doing these all on top of this. I had thought it would go on top of everything else, but since it's so see-through, let's put these things on top. The other thing we could do is change this out for this one. Yeah, even though this one says airways and it's travel, I feel like I like this one. I think we're gonna go with this. And then of course, we always like a little bit of flowers. So I'm going to, let's cut it so I can lay it in there. We'll peel it later, but we can put one right here. And one up under here. Perfect. We'll go with this. I like it. Addicted to them. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a travel theme. Maybe, let's see, let's try a fall theme. And these guys are little, maybe we could put on this little one. got to ink up this edge and trim over here. We don't want to touch our dots. I always do that. I put the dots on and then I'm like, oh, I need to do these other things, and then I blur the dots. I smush them and make a mess, and then I gotta try to figure out how to fix it. So, all right, made that brown, but since I have a little bit of a black edge on this one, I'm also going to touch it with the black. All right. Now I have this really cute little fall one to add to my collection here. Okay, what's next? Oh, I had this little combination, and this could go on a small. Gold probably would have been a better pick, but sometimes you just live with what you do. And I already put those on there. Okay. Let's go with this one. I have a coffee theme planned for us. Let's pull in. I like this stamp. Again, you'd have to, close to my heart's out of business, so you would have to get this on eBay or something, but I love the little coffee rings stamp in this one. I use it all the time. Since we're doing coffee, we'll pull that and have it ready to go. And I've pulled a few little stickers here that I liked already. I pre-planned. So that's kind of the general gist we got going here. And I have this, which has coffee, so we thought we could add that to the, and maybe I'll cut the words at the top. I don't know. I think it goes that way. I like it over here. Maybe I'll cut it up. Maybe I'll just cut it up. Why not? And then we'll see. There's a ton of little pieces. Okay. Coffee cup, drink different. I don't know. No coffee, too bad. No, that, no coffee, that just doesn't fly with me. Possibilities after coffee. I like that one. Let's use that for my word. Okay. Remove these. And put it kind of right there. All right, another thing I really like to do. Okay. We're gonna make this like a tag topper. Put it up here and then kind of squish it. And then I like to staple them because, I don't know, that just feels very junk journal-y to me. There's my coffee one. Better trim up my edges because I'm hanging off a little bit over here. All over the place. All right, there we go. And let's go. You know what? I'm not gonna put dots on it. We'll just not do dots. I really like that one, just how it is. Okay. We need to do the pink one, which I didn't really plan on the pink one. I don't have it planned out, so we're gonna have to come up with some ideas on the fly. Maybe I could use this little deal. This might be kind of cool to add to it, right? And then put something over. Maybe we'll do that. All right, let me dig for some stuff. Okay, I've pulled in a few things, some butterflies, little tag thing here, but I think I'm gonna start with this. I want, pull the lid and not the ink. See, I want the round element here. I might as well put all of it because I'm gonna cover a lot of it anyways, but okay. Yeah, we'll just do the whole thing. And then we'll place it kind of right over there. Okay. Then I'm going to place this one. Want that to go there because I don't really want all of the, there we go, probably cut that. Let's take a look at these. Let's cut so I can lay it out to be sure. Just put that there, and I kind of want this one maybe there. I want this butterfly, but I'm not sure about these flowers. Maybe I can cut them off. There we go. You can save those and put on something else. Now I can put these. Put that on the edge, that there, and then I need like a nice, okay, I'm gonna put this here, that there, and butterfly. Let's start gluing down. Just go for it. There. All right, I'm gonna peel this butterfly first. I almost think need this butterfly not to be see-through. So now we're gonna cut that guy out. Okay, but we could put in our flowers. Cut this out because that's gonna have to correlate with that one. Didn't really want a white edge, but I will go with it. Okay, there we go. Place it like that. Glue on our butterfly. Edges here. Okay. So let's add in this one. I definitely want to define the edges of this a little bit more. Piece of lace on this one. One down here. And maybe one over here. Little one. There we go. And then we'll add this lace. I kind of like a thicker amount of glue when I'm putting lace down. Okay, let's see. We'll just come up here to this edge. I think I'm going to just touch my edges up with a little black. Okay, so now I have a pink one. And we could do any number of cool, just put any of these on. Like I could just pull a sticker, plop it on there. I think I want a bigger one. And really be done really rather quickly. Like I'm just gonna find a butterfly, like a flying, smaller, here we go, well that one's landed. We want a flying, smaller flying one. Oh, that one's connected. There we go. Let's do this little guy. Put him right up here. And then a word sentiment. And this one would be done. Oh, this one's nice. It's long, so we'll cut it. And I think I'm gonna try to do it in like 3. Let's try to put him off the butterfly up here. And then I'm gonna trace it so that it stands out. I like to cluster my words. Let's see, I have a blue one. Let's go blue. No, let's go black. Okay. Kind of makes it stand out a little bit there. And we'll go with some white. All right, I am going to stop there. I still have tons of these, but I can leave some of them the way that they are and just use them like this in anything. Here's a nice little garden one, my pink one, my blue one, our cowboy one, a cute little fall one, travel, coffee, bird, and then the ones I had done already, just florals. And lastly, here's my little journal. I have this little pocket page, and we're gonna slip our cute little cowgirl ephemera in here. And I have a few I can put in. I kind of like those two. Oh no, this one's pretty too. There we go. And there we go.